About this. My position is that as service providers, it is our job, and when we are serving our clients, their job. So it is up to us to encourage them to state prices upfront to avoid the back and forth of what is your price? Well, tell me your budget. Well, I'll tell you my budget when I know your price, and so on. So at some point, somebody has to put a number in and anchor it. Service providers don't like to give their prices, and there are three main reasons for that. So I'm going to go through those three and why I think those are actually easy to overcome. The first one is so many service providers say, well, I can't state a price until I know exactly what the client's needs are. Fair. Most services either are not flat feed or have ranges and a lot of dependencies. There should, however, be three questions that we each can ask that give us enough information to be able to say, based on what you're telling me, this is how I priced that with previous projects that were similar, or this is my expectation based on the information I have now. And then it's also okay to say, here are the dependencies. Here are things that could change that price. But as I say, it's much more about putting something on, anchoring some price, some number down, and then the conversation can go around that. So that's the first sort of counteraction to the objection of it's impossible for me to know a price. You're not giving a formal proposal at that stage, but you're setting an expectation, and we all should be able to do that. The second objection is actually the easiest one to overcome. And this is something I hear with my clients, which is, I'm worried that if I say my price, I will scare off the prospect. That's fine. We should be comfortable with this. If the number that the service provider offers scares off the prospect, that is not the right prospect. Better to find that out sooner rather than spending a lot of time on that prospect and then quoting them a price and them saying, that's outrageous. It is not my expectation. There are a lot of different ways to price services, and there are a lot of different reasons to price services that way. So if you are too expensive for somebody, there's somebody else out there that serves their needs. Let them go find that prospect. But you're not here to base your price on whatever the prospect wants. You know your value. So that's the second objection. Fairly simple to overcome, more in our heads than anywhere else. The third objection sort of brings those first two together, which is I'm worried about stating my price before I've had an opportunity to state all the benefits. Well, I put this back onto the service provider. Everything that we communicate to prospects, to clients, to our audience should be premised on the WIFM, what's in it for me, for the client. So to me, that is an indication that that service provider is communicating in features more than they are in benefits. At the point that somebody is asking, what is your price? That is not the very first thing they're going to ask you, probably. If it is, then those people are hungry to buy anyway, right? Because they're already thinking about purchasing your services. But if somebody's talking to you, there's been a lead in, either a referral or a previous conversation, or it's somebody you already know. So it's everything that comes before that. And so that's more about our day-to-day communication with the market, with our audience. That should always be premised much more on benefits than on features. So again, with that third objection, there's a concern of, I'm worried about giving my price because I haven't expressed the benefits yet. Then the fix to that is not to avoid giving prices, it's to improve all the communication that comes before, so that there is already an understanding of why this person should buy from that particular service provider. So in conclusion, stating prices up front is helpful. You know that whoever you're talking to, if they're interested in a sale, that is on their mind. Even if they're not asking it up front, that can and will be a deal breaker. It is on their mind. They want to know. The sooner you can overcome that hump, the more time you're spending talking about the actual work and the actual benefits.